All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's, at the very heart of computer vision, image filters. Now, that might sound super technical, but stick with me, because we're going to break it all down using logic so simple a baby could, well, you get the idea.
No, I'm serious. What if you could understand all that complex math behind blurring a photo or finding the edges of a car, just by picturing a bunch of babies in high chairs playing with their food? Well, today you can. We're going to translate the language of pixels into the logic of the playroom.
Okay, so first things first, what even is an image filter? Well, at its core, it's basically just a tiny window, think of it like a magnifying glass, that slides over every single pixel in your photo. It looks at that one pixel and all its immediate neighbors, and then it uses a really simple set of rules, a little bit of math, to decide what the new color of that pixel in the center should be. That's literally it. So let's start with maybe the most common effect out there, the blur. And to get our heads around it, we're going to use what I'm calling the mashed peas filter. Okay, so I want you to picture this. You are a baby. You're sitting in your high chair. You've got your own little plate of food. But in this game, there's one very special rule. You have to completely ignore what's on your own plate. The rules are super simple. You look at the baby to your left, the one on your right, the one in front of you, and the one behind you. You take a little scoop of their mashed peas, just a bit from each plate, and you mix them all together. That mushy, mixed-up concoction, that becomes your new meal. And you do this for every single baby in the whole room. And believe it or not, this baby logic translates directly to the filter's math. See that 0 in the middle? That means ignore your own pixel's value. And those 0.25s? That's you taking an equal 1/4 share from each of your 4 neighbors to cook up your new pixel color. So what happens when you average everything together like that? Well, you get a smooth, blurry, mushy pile, right? Any sharp details, any bold flavors in the image, they get totally smoothed out. Now, in the fancy engineering world, this is called a low-pass filter. And it's called that because it lets the low-frequency, smooth information pass through while it blocks all the high-frequency, sharp details. But here's the thing. Not all filters are about making things blurry. Some of them have, well, they have completely different personalities. So let's meet two of them, the yeller and the hugger. So on one side, you've got the yelling loner. This filter is kind of antisocial. It can't stand it when things are all the same, and it only gets excited when it spots a huge, dramatic difference between neighbors. Then on the other side, you've got the group hugger. This one loves harmony. It just wants every pixel to get along and be more like its neighbors, creating one big, smooth, happy group. And what's really cool is that you can actually guess a filter's personality with one super simple trick. Just add up all the numbers inside it. Seriously. If they all add up to 0, it's a yelling filter. It's built to detect change. If it looks at a patch of the same color, its output is just 0 or black. But if the numbers add up to 1, it's a hugging filter. It wants to smooth things out, and this is key, preserve the image's overall brightness. Yeah, this is a perfect way to think about how an edge detector works. Just go back to that room of babies. If they're all just kind of murmuring at the same volume, that's like a flat, uniform color. The yelling filter makes everything go silent. It's not interested. But if one baby suddenly starts screaming while its neighbor is quiet, the filter lights up. It's found the contrast, the edge. Okay, so you might hear a more technical term get thrown around, something like separability, and it just sounds complicated. But don't worry, we've got some baby logic for that too. Think back to our group hugger filter, right? Trying to hug all 8 of your neighbors at the exact same time is, well, it's hard. It takes a lot of energy. Separability is just a clever shortcut. It means you can get the exact same result by doing it in 2 simple steps. First, you just hug everyone in your row. Then, once that's done, you hug everyone in your column. And the result? The exact same perfect group hug, but with way, way less work for the computer. All right, now this is where it gets really fun. We can start combining these simple ideas, our yeller and our hugger, to build filters that look for very, very specific things in an image. So let's try to build one right now that can find tall blocks. To get this, I want you to imagine putting on a pair of special toy glasses. But these aren't just any glasses. They have 2 totally different lenses that work together. One lens processes what you see horizontally, and the other one processes it vertically. Okay, so lens number 1 looks from left to right. We can call this one the bump hunter. Just look at its math. -1, 2, -1.
This thing hates flat, boring surfaces. It is designed to only light up when it sees a sudden change, a bump as it scans across the image. It's basically our horizontal yeller.
Now, lens number 2 works from top to bottom. And this one is the smoother. It's the complete opposite. It wants to blur things out as it looks up and down, averaging all the pixels together. It's our vertical hugger.
And here is where the magic happens when you combine these two. Because the glasses are hunting for bumps horizontally but smoothing everything vertically, they get a very specific taste. They will completely ignore a smooth horizontal line, but they love tall vertical objects. Why? Because that object is a bump when you look left to right, but it's perfectly smooth when you look up and down.
Okay, so let's step back from the high chair for a second and look at the big picture. What does all this playtime logic, all these mashed peas and group hugs, what does it all really mean? What it means is that these incredibly powerful effects, the very foundation of how computers see and understand our world, are all built from these surprisingly simple ideas. I mean, whether it's blurring the background in a portrait photo, sharpening a face, or letting a self-driving car see the lines on the road, it all starts with just applying a simple set of rules to a pixel and its tiny little neighborhood. And that leaves us with one final thought. If these fundamental building blocks of computer vision can really be understood with mashed peas and group hugs, it just makes you wonder, right? What incredible things will computer vision be able to see once this baby logic truly grows up?